Hi, this is Codeweaver. I'm back again for a little bit of afternoon gaming. I am going to be playing a little bit more Stranded Deep. Let's see, when last I was playing this, should be seeing the... Oh, I gotta switch over to the other panel. There we go. When last I played this, I was setting up to various nearby islands and starting to collect resources. Well, I collected a bunch of resources because I've been basically doing the same thing over and over and over, and it doesn't make for a really good stream to show all of that. But I want to make sure that I don't leave out what I've generally been doing just because I kind of find it boring once. So as you can see, I got some palm leaves, I got some meat built up, I got some palm fronds, I got a whole bunch of wood, rocks, fibrous leaves, and so on. How am I doing on water? Not too bad, but I will take another sip. Still is empty, so I can't. Got some rocks and so on. Palm fronds don't collect very fast, largely because I can only get them from palm trees, and I use them to build my hutches, but slowly over time I'll be getting more and more of those, and they're not super important to gather at the moment, so yeah. Let me just do a quick audio check to make sure that I'm not sure we're getting game audio. Yes, we are, just barely. Okay, no, that's fine. I guess the point here is that I've already got myself set up with a number of resources that I'm going to take with me. And some of my tools are in those cases. Now I've got a whole bunch of cases that I've slowly been collecting from ships and the like, which I'm going to show you what I do when I do that, in case you haven't seen this game before. I am about to head off that away to an island which is actually kind of not completely visible. But I'm going to try to get there anywhere as my next target, and I'm going to set up really quickly there if I can. Come on. Sometimes a little tricky getting into the raft from outside. There we go. It's going to be in the right spot. Come on. Thank you. Alrighty. So, there we go. Just barely see it on the horizon where my reticle is. So, I learned something new. Since I last played this in any great detail, the game's been, it's been constantly refined for quite a number of years now, getting more and more elaborate as time goes on. And amongst the things that have changed is that the islands are no longer in a convenient grid, which of course makes it more realistic, but it also means my assumptions about the layout of this place is a little wonky, but that's fine, actually. Came as a bit of a surprise, but that's alright. So, my general strategy used to be for this game, and I'm going to keep doing that until I find out I'm in trouble, is just basically for the islands that are in my immediate vicinity that are moderately easy to get to, like the one in the first sort of ring, I guess, around me, because there is kind of vaguely a ring of islands that are immediately around me. Collect enough resources so that I'm not wanting for a whole lot right at my main base. Set up campsites so that I can come and go to those places as I see fit and harvest like regrowing trees and whatever else respawns and so on. And I'm not going to worry too much about the islands like on the outer rings until maybe I can manage to get myself parts for a powered boat. If I have to go beyond the first ring of islands to achieve that, well, so be it. But it's probably going to mean that by the time I finish doing the islands that I'm most interested in here, I'm going to have most of the working stations. Oh, hello. Check that out. A whale on the horizon. Isn't that lovely? Oh, will be. steering a little bit clear of him in case he decides to get playful, but that is so awesome. Anyway, oh, so beautiful. Love that. Alright, so I need to get, I think it's a loom, I need to get a tanning station, I need to be able to build a kiln for stuff that involves clay. I need to start collecting clay. Yeah. I need to get all those stations set up. I'm less worried about building, like, my home away from home, my, multi-story resort, or whatever kind of magnificent Lego construction is going to end up being, until after I get the stations sorted out. I want to be able to come and go to the islands and get the resources I need more or less with ease, without feeling too stressed about it. But there's a lot of resource gathering there I just didn't want to show because it's just, oh, look at that. Okay, we gotta be careful of him. Okay, let's do this, attach that to there. I had, in one of my playthroughs off-screen, or off-stream, I actually had my raft float away from me and get lost, so I had to revert to a previous save. That can happen if you don't pay attention. When they're up on the island here, it tends not to happen. I don't think they've instigated tides again. They used to have them. I really kind of wish they preserved that, but anyway. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay this out. Here are my primary tools. The reason I'm using the boxes is because they only use one slot, and you get sort of a 3 to 1 sort of storage capacity by doing everything in containers. You'll also notice, interestingly enough, I have my bow and arrow, which is going to be useful for being able to deal with him. I got to be real careful. That's not the island I came from. I came from one that was out there somewhere, and it's not that one either. So I got to be real careful because it's very easy now that these are a little bit further separated over the horizon not to get lost. But I did come more or less straight at this, so if I can ever see it on a clearer day, I'll try to mark it. My path away from here may be a little tricky. So let's get building. First of all, we're going to build that. Second of all, we're going to build this. Third of all, we're going to build this. Fourth of all, we're going to build kindling. And that's all I need for that. But I still have 3 sticks. Guess what I'm going to do with the 3 sticks? That's right. Arrow back home. At least as close as I can get to it. And I may have to come back at several times and refine this and this maybe terrible screw up, but it's not there. It's out there somewhere, and darned if my eyes aren't just a little bit fuzzy being able to... I can't see it over the horizon. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I took exactly the right amount of materials. Actually, I brought one extra stick I didn't need to. But I brought enough materials to be able to get that set up right away. Now, that used a lot of home resources, but it means now, if nothing else, I have a place I can save. Not too worried about the sleeping part of this. Next. I don't know how well my bow and arrow is going to work against that, but let's try it and see. If it doesn't end up working, I'll just revert to save, because arrows are precious. Oh, you rat bastard. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to be using that. We're going to be doing this. This is going to get me hurt if I'm not careful. So interestingly, approaching them from behind may work better than approaching them from the front, because I've gotten bashed around by these things pretty badly. Alright, so I've got meat. Now, I'm hoping to gather enough resources in one pass here to make a trip back before, like over the course of the next evening, when it's easy to go overland. Save now, save often, save again. Now, I gotta start watching. I gotta be kind of careful because I gotta watch out for boars, which can be an issue on some of these islands, and worse off, snakes, because I don't have the ability to make an antidote right now. I haven't focused on the resources and stations that would enable me to do that. That tends to be more my mid-game thing, but it does mean that I'm highly vulnerable up front, because my only recourse is really to save. You can't naturally heal from poisoning. By the way, don't step on those things. Or bleeding. So, there is that. Oh my. Okay. Okay. We're going to start amassing our inventory back at home base. And this is what I've done for the other islands. It's just that now I've gotten to the point where I can deploy. I've got enough resources at home that I can bring enough resources that I can literally deploy an entire home away from home from resources at home, which makes getting out and about a little bit safer. We can leave this by the campfire. I don't necessarily need to have that with me. Now, I'm either going to have to take those home and smoke them, or I can cook them up here. But in either case... I probably can't keep them more than about a day and a half, so... Time to collect all the resources. I fairly typically harvest one or two some nice resources here. One or two palm trees on each of the surrounding islands before I sort of let the island grow everything back, or grow some of it back. I wonder where our crab buddies went to. They may have went inland, so I've got to be careful about them, like, deciding to crawl over the brush here and try to get a piece of me. Because they hurt. Okay, so I got to cool down. Tropical area. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Okay, let's just... Ow! Okay, so what can I drop into the meat? We'll drop that because we can always get more wood. Alright, so now I'm almost certainly going back.
Disgusting.
So I want to be able to take all this meat back. Alright, let's try to get a little bit organized here then. Alright, so put things in backpack. All the crab meat. A whole bunch of those, and let's actually see how many we can pack in, because I know it's more than just 4 for things that small. What did I put in there? Rock. Okay, rock. Where's the rest of the rocks? Okay, so I can only put 4 rocks per slot in the boxes. So I gotta keep that in mind. I'm gonna keep the onesie twosie items. Oh, hang on. so I'm going to keep the one-off items separate until I know what I'm going to take back with me. I am not staying out of the sun, which is not a brilliant idea. How are we doing for... Ooh, we are not doing good in the water department. Okay. Drop that, smack it with a stick, or smack it with an axe. Oh, hello, other viewer. I don't know who you are, but say in the chat if you like, or don't if you don't want to. But thanks for stopping by, that's cool. Alright, so I should be okay for a moment, staying out of the heat here. Gotta be a little bit careful, like I said, in case there are snakes about. So I'm gonna save now that I've started doing things I'd rather not lose track of. Sneak into... Alright. Yeah, okay, so I got the ficus tree, one ficus tree, that's... Sorry, yucca tree. So these little bits are, of course, useful for making the rope. Rope and other stuff like that. It's also good for extracting water out of the still. It regenerates pretty quickly. Always good to get a really solid supply of this for both purposes as I go. I'm gonna get bitten by a snake if I'm not careful. They're almost impossible to see unless you already know they're there. You can't hear them, of course. Alright. No more yucca trees. I'm gonna want to chop down at least one palm for the palm fronds, because otherwise I could just use the smaller trees for sticks. Sticks aren't the problem. The problem is I need palm fronds. So I'm going to go after a really tall one. Try to find a balance here. Yeah, I'll go after this one. All right. Okay. Chopping up the logs, chopping up the logs. I'm going to end up with an excess of palm fronds, at least until I decide to head out to a ring beyond the current ring of islands. As much as I can carry, so booting it back. Okay, so right. How much space? So I'm gonna be able to leave my tools here because I'm definitely coming straight back to this island. And that's gonna end up saving me some slots for being able to carry things. Right. All right. See how many more of these I can fit in. Quite a few, it turns out. But not all of them. Alright. So for the sake of efficiency, I might have to leave those behind for a moment. Already got maxed out on that, but not that. So here is where I am going to Might find more corrugated scrap on the island. It's unlikely, but let's 3, 1, 2, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see I have 3 stacks of 4 in there. Now I could have brought more boxes. Maybe next time I will. So that's all 3. No, I've got 1 major slot available there. That's not a bad thing. Okay. What do I want to do? Oh, I've got palm fronds I can pump in there, drop in there. So here we go into that 3rd slot in that box. There we go. I could sleep here, but it's actually easier to go across the water in the night. Less heat problems. Fewer heat problems. Alright, now, I still actually have quite a few slots I can pick everything else up in, so leaving that alone. Fibrous leaves, several piles of those. Palm frond, I'll grab that. We'll leave the yucca fruit. No, we'll take the yucca fruit with us. What are we up to? Okay, so what we can do is I'm going to take the crude axe, boot it over here, and I'm going to grab a few more sets of 4 that I can take with us off this tree that I chopped down. Where is it? Oh, yeah, coconut too. In fact, I'm likely to be thirsty, so let's just right, so there we go. Still got some room. And actually, I got that entire tree. So heading back, we have enough room for... okay, so if I don't take the axe, because I'm going to come back here probably more or less immediately. If I don't take that, then I can take... I can take the corrugated sheet metal. And that's okay. Alright, so here we go. Save the game. Get this thing turned around. Come on. Hop in. I said hop in. Come on. Always a little tricky getting on board this thing. There we go. Nope. Really? Really? Do have to work on making that a little more reliable, but that's alright. Alright. Now, that is not the island, so it's actually going to be over here. I think. Ish. I'm not going to be able to see it until I'm at least partway out there. So let's find out. Yeah, I think you can just barely see it as faded pixels in front of us. I can see it. I have no idea if it's even visible on the stream. Hopefully I'm heading the right direction. Because what I need is I need a light beacon at that end of the island. I'm going to show you something because it is night. We're going to be arriving. I'll show you what I did that's visible from the other side of the island. Super helpful when you're zipping about this place on the water at high speed, which I'm not doing because I don't have a motorized craft. Yet. Hey, more viewers. Hi viewers, how you doing? Alright, so fairly ordinary and boring crossing of the semi-open ocean in an inflated raft, which has survived crashing with me in an airplane, trying to gather resources from the first sort of string of islands around me. Hopefully this is the right island, or I'm going to be reloading, because I don't want to be accidentally, running between islands at this speed on stream. Until I get a compass, I need to do some pretty good dead reckoning. Even with a compass, this is kind of dangerous. And without having a motorized vehicle, it's exhausting and time-consuming. Come on. To say this is a very pretty game. One of my favorite little survival games because it's got a tropical motif, and that was when I started playing this. It was kind of rare. In fact, this game and Raft, which has a similar theme but does its mechanics slightly differently, are amongst my favorite games. There we go. There's our beacon. It's not really visible like this, but get a few lanterns in the same spot. That's not bad. Anyway, so I hope this is the this is the only place I put. Where did I put the... So I actually disembarked from that side near the arrows, I think. So, yeah, I did pretty good. Ooh, yeah, we are totally... Okay, so two things we're going to do. First of all, we're going to put that back on the raft and not be an idiot. And second of all, we're going to pull this up on shore and not be an idiot. I have a problem with not being an idiot this week, so... Alright. The corrugated plywood. A whole bunch of... these guys, because I'm collecting these like fiends. I know this looks like a lot, and to be fair, it is a lot, but I'll have like 5 times this amount eventually. Some of it being used up when I start building. I thought I heard voices. Might be my character. They did have voices for the characters. Anyway, when I start actually building some sort of major structure there, I'm going to build myself a nice 2 or 3 story building, some of the amenities of life. Alright, so what else do we have? We have palm leaves for when I next decide to head out. I got these guys, which by and large are for rope, but also for water. Actually, mostly for water, if I'm honest. Which I need right now, by the way. So I'll be drinking all of the water and then immediately restocking. 1, 2, 3, 4. They've changed the mechanics of fruit. I don't know what to do with this yet. It gets its own pile, I guess. Until I start storing, organizing things in boxes, which is going to rapidly become an issue. Yeah, they changed the mechanics of the whole water thing quite a few times since I started playing this game. They all have their pluses and minuses. Alright. Rocks. More fronds. Used for, I think, walls and ceilings and the like in some structures. Takes time to gather enough to really go to town with those. Okay. What else do we have? Right. Lots more sticks. gonna get nutty. Okay. Like I said, I know it looks like a lot, but I'll end up using a lot. Like literally, I think building a big square platform out of these takes at least 4 of these, if not 6. So, and that's just for like a square meter patch. Anyway. Empty. Ah, here we go. Ah, those I had to get processed pretty quick. And again, it looks like I have a lot of these, but because they are also used to distill water, the moment I stop collecting them and I'm doing like builds and the like, I'm gonna go through those things pretty quick. All right, let's string these up so they don't go bad. Oh, I already have items on there, so let's get those off. Right, there we go. And how am I for food? I could eat some food, and it turns out that I have just pulled some smoked meat off of that, so I'm gonna eat a couple of those. Those are mediums, so probably no more than 2 sticks needed for the fire. Apparently your cooking skill goes up if you're doing any kind of cooking while you are standing next to it, so I'm going to stay nearby. Because I've actually been setting up the cooking and then you know, racing off to another island. I do need to get back to that island though, because there's more stuff to get there. Maybe. Okay. Oh, and I've got one more smoked one on that end. How am I for food? Don't have any room for the next bit of food. So I'm collecting all my smoked meat at this end. Don't mind the sand. Now all my tools are at the other end, if you recall, so I really can't stay here that long anyway. Like, can't really go hunting or anything. I should save. Saving would be smart. I'm gonna wait long enough right here for these to smoke. What I can do though is I can look up sort of what am I after past this. So in terms of buildings, I have a fire pit. I'm not going to worry about the hobo stove because I've got the smoker and that's good enough to keep me alive. I'm going to need the loom, but I need 6 leather. I don't know if I can make that many. I do have the pig skin, so I can make some leather, and I have some leather that I already gathered. Wait a minute, do I have the pig skin? I did kill a large pig, like a boar, on one of my trips out, but did I have to revert that save? I think I've still got the pig skin here somewhere. I'll have to look that up, because the loom would be good for being able to make cloth. It's definitely a thing. Plank station is for being able to actually make wooden boards. I tend to use that last. Because I don't mind the look of... I don't need a lot of things that need boards. And in terms of buildings, I actually kind of like the thatched together log planks. I think it actually looks more tropical. So I don't need a plank station right away. But I am going to need a furnace, and that needs 6 clay. This is going to need 4 sticks and 4. I can make a tanning rack. That's going to be useful. A brick station maybe for... I think the bricks are for brick foundations and for brick surfaces on the powered boats, which I also don't mind having as wood, so I don't need that right away. The fuel still is new. Beforehand, you just sort of needed the engine, and yeah, if I recall, an unlimited amount of fuel. Now you actually have to make fuel, which again I don't mind, but it's a new thing I have to build. So that's kind of that's going to be a major goal. But the furnace and the tanning rack are the two things that I want to target. Okay, so I'm gonna need rope, which I can make right now, and sticks, which I can make right now. So let's. Do I not have a tanning rack? Maybe I don't this time around. I'm half remembering previous games. So the fire's not ready to extinguish yet, but my cooked crab meat, it's cooked but it's not smoked. So we're gonna wait until it's smoked. That said, though, let's start 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we can build a tanning rack. Maybe. Did I screw up when I need to build a tanning rack? No, it's just that I can't quick build it because there's too many other things that it thinks are higher priority. So I am going to build this right back here. How do I want to arrange this so that it kind of feels... I want to be compact, but I want it to feel kind of... let's do that. That kind of looks nice. And then I can put the kiln like here or something, or I can put some other station here. So that's pretty cool. So now I can... Where are my... These are cloth. There are the rawhides. So with this, I can make leather. And from that I can potentially make a water skin, but let me see. And that would actually be really better to take with me than the coconut. So I only made 4, so it doesn't really generate you a lot. If I make so. Where did I put the other bits of leather that I have been gathering? There. So I only have 6 leather. So I gotta be kind of judicious about what I want to use. So I built the tanning rack. The loom actually only takes ropes and sticks too, so I could conceivably build that now. So that's a thing. All right. Looking further along, tools. The refined axe takes fewer swings, probably. Like uses probably takes fewer. Oh, I can build it out of an axe I already have plus an extra stone. I should do that, as long as there's nothing else that I want to spend on leather. So that's how you build leather. Arrow bow, refined pick takes leather, but I'm not quite ready to do pick yet. That would be basically going underwater and you know, basically clay is what I'm going to be using that for in the short term. A refined spear, I'm not really using the spear all that much. Although the spear gun could be fun for taking out the sharks. A bird snare and a fish trap. Interesting, but those don't require leather. So, ooh, a tool belt. And that only takes rope. Why have I not built that yet? Because the next stage of tool belt pouch takes cloth and rope. Level 2 takes rawhide and cloth. Tool belt pouch 3 takes 2 leather. Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? I don't know if that's incremental. That's quite possible. That's incremental because it's locked. So I'd probably have to build through this. That requires rawhide on its own. Oh, isn't this going to be interesting? Okay. of the things I want to build, I definitely think one of the things I want to build up front how do I build in the tools? It's not in the tools. Consumables. Hobo stove. These are all stations. Water skin needs a stick. Yeah, this would be better for me to take. It used to be that you could actually, you could kill an entire water bottle rather than a water skin. I can hold out for that, actually. Because I seem to recall you can hold quite a bit of water in one of those things. And I'm going to need to go the clay route anyway. So of the things I want to do, at this point, I want to go for the tool belt angle. So I think that would be super useful, and I don't think I've done that before. How am I doing on supplies? I could do with more water. Okay, still going again. Alright, let's figure this out. Back to tools. No, back to belt. I need rope to build a belt. So, let's build a rope. Right. I can build tool belt. Right. Right, so. Then, I need cloth plus lashing. I need to build another one of these. So there's lashing. Here's cloth. Nope, don't want to build bandage, thank you. Tool belt. How far can we ramp this up in one go? Okay, so that's locked, I think, until I build this. And this one actually needs rawhide, which I don't have. I kind of jumped the gun on producing all that leather, but that's all right. Okay. I was, though, going to take one of these and one of these to build a new refined axe. Right. Except I can't build a refined axe until I get my axe back, which is on the other island. So I kind of have to finally cave and say it's time to go back to the other island, which I should have done in the middle of the night, but needs must. So, save. Let's boogie. I am going to have to start thinking about harvesting clay, though. I should think about how I'm going to go along that line. We're pointed the right way. Let's get on. Come on, come on. There we go. Get on board. Right, should be that way, roughly. Self-oriented and head out. Oh, getting tipped over by the shark, but that's okay. It doesn't tend to knock me over, especially as long as I keep just moseying on. Don't panic, keep moving. I'll eventually have to revisit one of the islands that I've already visited for two reasons. One, I'm going to need more pig skin, and I'm going to wait for the boars that are there to grow up, I guess, and have piglets of their own. Assuming I don't find some leather straps or something in one of the cases over here, I'd prefer to get stuff that's already made, obviously. The other reason is because on one of the islands I forgot to set an arrow pointing back, and you know, it's obviously not super important that I have all these arrows pointing in and out to each other when I'm just doing the one string of islands. But if I start going way out there, I want to have a daisy chain of arrows that I can guarantee gets me back home. That's really why I do it. It's not so much for the outbound leg, although that helps me keep track of where I've already been. But on these outer string of islands, I'm probably not going to set... what I will probably do for the outbound legs on this first string of islands is set arrows in the backwards direction, so that I still have a line that leads me outward, but the arrows all point inward. Just helps me keep track where I am. It's like a big node and edge graph. I always know where the root is, and the root's back there. For all of those of you out there in computer science land who know what I'm talking about. Or math, for that matter. Or if you prefer a more classical analogy, I'm leaving myself a trail of breadcrumbs. They just happen to be in the shape of an arrow. It's especially important since this is no longer a grid. I can't even really reliably use memory and dead reckoning to get where I'm growing, so... Alrighty. We are back. We are totally back. Alright, so now we have the crude axe. Let's make the refined axe. So that's going to last me a little longer. It's going to chop a little harder, and that's all good. So, we also got the bow and arrow. We've got the coconut flask for water. We're likely to run into more bad guys, so let's make sure we have all the stuff that we need with us. I am more interested in just making sure I get all of the sort of the rocks and gatherable resources. If I can find a tree I think I can chop down without sort of affecting the aesthetics of the island, I'll grab more resources, because the more resources I can get without having to go to the outer islands, the better. I think I can get to at least one more inner ring island. I think I've seen one on the very hairy edge of my vision. See, that one probably can't be seen from... Or that one. Either one of those, because that's in like an outer ring island. Further out. Next tier of distance. And, I mean, although it looks close, it just means that if I go out there, it's that much harder to get back. Oh, actually, hang on. That might not be an outer string. So, if home is that way, that may be one of the islands I've already visited. Stuff back there won't be, though. So, spare resources. Get ficus tree. Really need more palm trees yet, palm leaves yet, because I'm not making like formal roofs or anything, and I've got enough, easily enough, from the first tree to make my next base when I do expand outwards, so that's fine. Sure, there's some fruit trees in here too, but I don't like eating the fruit directly. I like being able to plant it. Like there's yucca fruit here. I can actually plant. I think I can plant that in a. I'd be able to plant that back home. That would give me That would give me more fibrous leaves actually growing in a planter. So yeah, farming's a whole thing. I have to think about how I want to approach that. And I forgot to bring the boxes. Damn it. I forgot to bring the boxes. Well, darn. Well, first time that I've done that on this stream, but not the first time I've done that today. So, yeah. Because that's about as much as I'll actually be able to bring back home this trip, for example. All right. So that's only one of those. I can live without that. I'd rather take the flask with me, and that way I don't have to come back here. I could literally... No, I'm going to have to hold the... Darn it! I'm going to have to hold... Maybe an entire stack of 4 of these. It's a bit painful. Alright. Alright. See, on the right day, you can actually see... No, I don't know which one it is. I think it's that one. That one. On the right clear day, you can actually see that distant island. Oh boy, it's on the edge. Nope, look, Sharky. Alright. This is kind of why I didn't want to necessarily show these bits in... Oh, jeez. These bits in the stream, because it's a lot of going back and forth as I shovel resources. And I tend to do a lot of my, my building sort of once I'm well established and can putter around. I mean, I am getting to a threshold. I'll probably do, after I finish this stream, which I'm going to do in about 10 minutes, I will probably end up doing 1 or 2 more of these kinds of island collections, sort of collecting resources. I might start collecting clay, but of course I'll see, this is why I should do this during the evening, because I don't need to cool down. I'm going to have to drink a lot of water when I get there. I'm going to start overheating. Where was I? I may collect some clay off stream and get that sort of bootstrapped, but I won't build any more structures or anything. Like, what I'll end up doing is I'll end up revisiting a lot of these islands and finding clay resources down below as I can do so safely. Enough to be able to get the primary structures built, and then I'll build them. I'm also going to prep for getting all the pieces, if I can, for... I'm not going to be able to get a motorized thing until I get the fuel still, though. They have made that a lot harder. Okay. When we get to land, let's review what it's going to take to build the fuel still. Because the clay I know I can get. I know what the clay looks like. I know how to do the underground mining. I'm less worried about that. This still is a new thing. I gotta figure out what resources I'm gonna need. I also have to wait. I either have to find a new island with pigs on it, because I don't want to kill everything on an island. And I want to let the little ones grow up. I have to wait for that to find more pigs anyway for anything leather related. It's pretty clear. I was going to say it kind of feels a bit like on the edge of stormy, but... Oh, that'll be a treat, though. I got treated to my first storm off stream. I kind of wish I'd had that on stream to share with you guys, because I got kind of a little bit surprised by it, if I'm honest. Okay, be careful of those things. Alright. Time to boot it. Am I safe? I'm safe-ish. No, I'm not. Look at that. Be kind of careful. Okay, so that's up on shore. So that's that problem solved. Let's go and drop these off. But a few of them. All right. All the rest are just tools. Okay. How are we doing? Kind of need more water. All right, that's fine. Let's do a bunch of those. 2, 3, 4. Get this. We're doing on food. Could do some food. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're feeling good. We are feeling super fine food-wise. Okay. Do I need to go back there? Possibly for the remainder of those sticks. That might be helpful. Mind you, I can go and retrieve, because I'm going to be back at that island anyway. I can retrieve them later. I've got all my tools with me. So... quick review. Ignoring the fact that we need clay, what does it look like in terms of consumables? What do I need? The thing at the... no, not the shark repellent, none of this. None of this. Story. Oh, interesting. Okay. Farming. That's where I can build my farming stuff, which I will eventually. That's building the rafts. I could build... yeah, oh, interesting. Okay, hang on. So let's check this out. I can build a bunch of different bases. I can... and floors. I can build... that's interesting. Canopies. Sails. Interesting. I'd be keen on building a sail raft as my first attempt. I don't need it to be... I'm glad they did that. I don't need it to be powered. Yeah, I haven't been in the game in a while if the sail's been around for a while. Yeah. Ain't that interesting? The motor will take fuel. Okay, so what do I need to build? I'm going to want an anchor, clearly, so wood sticks. So none of this requires... all this just requires cloth, rope, and sticks, all of which I have. Very interesting. Oh, and that's for the gyrocopter, but I'm willing to bet that that requires me finding stuff at further islands or specialty islands. Those are new since I've last played this game in a serious way, too. So, then that's going to be just so much fun. Okay. This is our next task, but I'm not going to do that this stream. What I'm going to do is I might visit at least one more island if I can see one that surrounds me immediately without having to go too far afield. And I will not build that until it's on stream. And I won't build the raft, the sailed raft until it's on screen. But I am going to make sure that I have the resources to do it. So it looks like I need like 3 cloth, which I think I have, rope, which is easy to get, and sticks, which I have 1,000,000 of at this point. The thing that's going to take the resources, though, I think is over here. I'm going to need the base, and I'm going to go with a boy balls raft base. So I'm going to have to find enough boy balls. That's what I'd like to be able to do. And then I need to put a floor on it. but I got lots of stuff to be able to do that, and I don't mind a wood raft floor. I think it looks good. So I'll have to see if I can find enough of these. I know where I can get 4 of them. I don't know if I can get 5 yet. I will have to see. All right, so there is my next target. The boy balls for the raft base. Okay. Now check that out. Isn't that pretty as a picture? In fact, that's so pretty as a picture that I'm literally going to capture it as a picture if I can figure out how. Can I do a snip? It's probably the easiest way for me. I'm sure there's a print screen key, but let's just grab that down to... That's going to be pretty. I've got that in a Windows snip. All right. I think that's where I'm going to call it. Isn't that lovely? I've got 2 beacons. I'm going to add more. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am healthy. I got food in me. I got water in me. I've mostly been collecting resources. The only thing that I built with you guys, and that was the tanning rack. And a bunch of these houses on various islands, which some of which you didn't get to see, but you will as I revisit those islands. It's been delightful. Thank you for joining me on this stream. I'm gonna play something else. I might go back to Phasmophobia actually, because I know I keep playing that. I just love the game. Even solo, it's a lot of fun to work out. It's a lot more fun with friends. I'm gonna see if I can find some friends to play with. Thanks for joining me. This is Codeweaver, and I will see you in my next stream.